to change his mind, but he wouldn't budge. Even Scarlett's parents wanted him to reconsider leaving her. That is, until he told them the reason why he called off the wedding and why he was forcing them to pay the entire cost of the wedding. Of course, they didn't believe their daughter did what he claimed she did, and they were against paying for any more of the wedding than they already had. But when Brad printed out a copy of the chat history that I had with Scarlett and gave it to them, they realized Brad wasn't lying about what she did. After reading the chat history, Scarlett's parents didn't blame my brother for calling off the wedding. In fact, they both said they would have done the same thing if they were in his position. It seems Scarlett's parents are good people, even if she isn't. They were, however, against paying for the wedding, but they didn't make Brad pay for it. Scarlett's parents were so disgusted with her behavior that they forced her to pay for the entire wedding herself and to reimburse them for the portion they'd already paid for. They told her that if she didn't, they were going to disown her and write her out of their will. I don't know exactly what happened to Scarlett after that, but Brad told me he never received a single bill for anything to do with the wedding. So I guess Scarlett's parents forced her to go into major debt to pay it all off herself. Or they disowned her and wrote her out of their will. Either way, I'm happy with the outcome. Thanks for watching. If you liked this video, please press the like button. See you next time!
I can't believe you're seriously this dumb. It's hilarious. You still haven't noticed? I feel bad for you. It's been 2 years since you last contacted me. What is this all of a sudden? Well, you see, I stole your boyfriend. Huh? Boyfriend? I don't have a boyfriend, though? Let me tell you something. 3 months ago, your high school had a reunion. But it didn't seem like you mentioned to the organizing committee that you moved 2 years ago. So I ended up getting the invitation. As your twin sister, I decided to take it upon myself to attend for you. But you graduated from an entirely different high school, didn't you? Like I said, I went in your place. And then, your boyfriend was there too. I already told you I don't have a boyfriend. And so, your boyfriend mistook me for you. He took me back home and we had a lot of fun in the evening. I don't know how many times I need to say this, but I don't have a boyfriend. I found your number in his phone. I told him that something happened to my last phone number, so I changed your number to mine. Haven't you wondered why you haven't been able to reach him these days? It's all because of me. Whoops. Oh my god. How many times do I need to repeat myself? I don't have a boyfriend. And then guess what else happened? I got pregnant with his child. What? You're pregnant? Once we get married, I'll tell him the truth about being your twin sister. Until then, don't you dare try to meddle with things, okay? Getting pregnant is a sign. It's my fate to marry him. But also the fact that he has a 6-figure salary, lives in a luxurious high-rise apartment, and would basically make me a rich wife is pretty great too. So don't cause any trouble for me. Don't even think about showing up in front of him or contacting him. I wouldn't even try to contact him. Do you want to know why? He is not my boyfriend. Whatever. I won't put up with you doing anything weird, okay? So just stay out of it. Man, you've seriously gotten even worse with your listening skills in these past 2 years. Whatever, that's not even the main point. Anyways, your boyfriend is now all mine. You got it? Yep, you do you. Good, I'm glad you understand. If you try to get near him without my permission, I won't let you off easy. Jesus Christ. I don't care anymore. Take that! What is it this time? I can tell you're trying to hide your pain and regret behind your curt messages. What do you want? Starting today, I'll be living with my boyfriend in that big, beautiful apartment. Okay. And? Well, I just thought how bad you must feel. We also finished registering our marriage. We're officially a couple. And then I confessed to him about the whole twin sister thing. You won't believe how he reacted. He said he knew from the very beginning. This must be true love, right? It's love. There's nothing else that can explain how he was able to tell us apart from the beginning. And so now, I'm going to get the ceremony taken care of before he changes his mind about all of this. Okay, good for you. I don't know who your boyfriend is, but hey, I guess it's okay as long as you're happy. Excuse me? But you need to tell Mom and Dad about this. After you messaged me about your boyfriend and getting pregnant, I talked to Mom and Dad. They had absolutely no idea about any of this. They were pretty disappointed that you never so much as introduced them to your boyfriend. I guess your husband now. Anyways, you two should go and visit Mom and Dad right away. Excuse me? I don't like your attitude and the way you talk to me. It's pretty rude of you guys to ignore all the pre-marriage traditions. You should show some manners at the very least. Yeah, whatever. Are you really that upset that I took your boyfriend away from you? I already said that I don't have a boyfriend. How many times do I need to repeat myself for you to get it? I know you're lying to me. What? You think I wouldn't know? You know, I don't even know what to think. I keep trying to tell you that I don't have a boyfriend for you to steal, but it seems like you're just not getting it. What do you mean I'm not getting it? Never mind. Anyways, I don't care about all the details, but now that you're pregnant, you better start showing some responsibility as a mother. Kids can't choose their parents, so it's up to you to get your act together. Excuse me? I'm busy now. Let's stop here for today. Wait! Hold up! Hey! Don't you think your reaction to all of this is a bit weird? Really? Yes, it is! Why are you ignoring the fact that your boyfriend got another woman pregnant? Normally, people would panic. They would get mad and cry. Why aren't you livid at all? Getting livid isn't really healthy during the prenatal phase. Prenatal? I'm pregnant right now as well. With my husband's child, of course. What? Husband? I married my supervisor from work 2 years ago. You married your supervisor? No one told me that. I told Mom and Dad not to talk about it with you. Why would you do something like that? That's our choice as husband and wife. I don't know why you're getting so riled up over it. I also felt like you would try and do something bad at the wedding. I didn't really know how to bring all of this up with you. Are you serious? Also, I knew about the school reunion. Wait, you knew? It's true that I didn't get the physical invitation to the reunion, but they texted me the details. I declined the invitation since I didn't want to go anywhere while I'm pregnant. Some of my friends attended the reunion. They told me all about you showing up and messing around with people. Are you serious? They knew who I was? Yep, looks like it. You showed up pretending to be me with a flat stomach even though they all know I'm 5 months pregnant. On top of that, you were wearing stilettos. There's no way a pregnant woman would be walking around in stilettos, downing drink after drink. My friends quickly realized that it was my dumb little sister from the other high school. But no one said anything to me at the reunion. Well, it's pretty obvious they wouldn't say anything to you. Everyone was in such shock they didn't know what to say anymore. Let sleeping dogs lie, you know? And plus, it was kind of funny for them, so they left you to your own devices. So, yep, that's what happened. That's horrible! You're all awful to me! Who was the one who decided to go and crash a high school reunion while stealing someone's identity? Didn't you think it would be weird? You don't know anyone at my high school. I'd imagine a typical conversation at a reunion would involve stories from a long time ago. If you suddenly stopped talking during those conversations, wouldn't that draw some suspicion towards yourself? I had no idea a nerdy and depressed person like you would have made any friends. Nerdy and depressed? I'm pretty sure I was being hardworking and dedicated. People who are like that aren't depressed by default. You seriously need to reconsider your definition of that word. Everyone at your school was nerdy and depressed. I heard that's what IB programs do to kids. How would you define my other classmate who was top of the grade, tennis captain, student council president, and had tons of admirers? He was seriously amazing. Does that sound nerdy and depressed to you? What? No? but it sounds totally made up and unrealistic. You really shouldn't underestimate how smart people are in the state's top high school. But then again, the guy was by far on a whole different level. So according to your logic, would you label that guy as a recluse as well? You know what? Whatever. Let's change the topic. That's not my point. I don't care about all those nitpicky little details. Either way, I've won this round. My husband makes well over 6 figures a year. We live in a penthouse, and that person is in love with me. Looks like I've got you all beat. Feels pretty good to be the winner. Oh yeah, that reminds me. I wanted to ask you something. Your husband. Who is he, even? Was he one of my classmates? I might have known him. Oh, my husband? It's Henry. I'm sure you remember Henry. Henry? Henry Williams? That Henry? Oh, God. So that's what this is all about. What do you mean? He's the guy who went around telling everyone that I was his girlfriend back in high school. It caused a ton of drama. He did something like that? Yeah, he said I was his type. After I rejected him, he found out that I have an identical twin sister. He insisted that I introduce him to you and wouldn't leave me alone about it. He probably thought he won the lottery when you guys met at the reunion. So that's what happened. Well, I mean, it's fine. I caught a rich man after all. You really let go of such a huge chance. Sucks to be you. By the way, that big apartment building you live in, does it happen to be the one near the station? Yep, that's the one. Are you jealous? I bet you're feeling super jealous right now. Even if you went back to Henry and begged, he wouldn't go back to you. Even if he gave it to me for free, I wouldn't take it. Acting all tough again, eh? No. I'm already married to the man I love. But even if I was single, I wouldn't want to date an unemployed hermit anyways. What? Who are you talking about? Remember that legendary classmate of mine that I mentioned earlier? The guy who was basically perfect in everything he did? Henry is his cousin. Wait, are you serious? My husband knows them. Henry isn't the one who's making 6 figures a year and owns the penthouse. All of it is actually his cousin Jack. Jack left on an overseas business trip for 7 months and left the apartment to Henry to look after it. Oh, and Jack is coming back in 10 days. No, that can't be right. Henry also promised that he would move out once Jack came back. No way. No. Clara, I heard that you went against Mom and Dad's wishes and told them you would never come back home again. If you're going to go that far, shouldn't you talk to Henry and figure out where you two will live next? I don't understand what you're talking about. What the heck is going on? Then, if that's the case, I'll just get married to Jack instead. I'm just gonna do that. Jack already has a wife. His business trip was scheduled right after they got married, so Jack decided to take his wife along with him for a kind of business trip quasi-honeymoon. They plan on living together in the penthouse once they get back. So, how on earth do you think you're going to try and steal him? And plus, you're pregnant with Henry's kid. You two have no choice but to move out in 10 days. No, there's no way. You're lying, right? Tell me you're lying. I thought I finally managed to beat you at something in life. None of this makes any sense. I just can't. And lastly, I'll just say this. Clara, regardless of the circumstances, you now have a child. Don't let your kid down. Be a good mother. That's easier said than done. Hey, please, help me. I'm not going to save you. This is your own responsibility. What? Please, you've got to help me. I'm about to become a mother myself. My child is my #1 priority. I don't have the time and energy to help you. Goodbye then. Clara and Henry continued to live in the penthouse until Jack returned. Jack called Henry's parents and informed them about the situation, so they allowed Clara and Henry to move in with them. Although, I heard that Clara's mother-in-law seems like a pretty strict person. Also, it turns out that Jack wanted a different cousin to take care of the house while he was overseas. That cousin, however, was suddenly hospitalized. Henry took advantage of the situation and moved in. Jack is demanding $3,000 in repairs for the furniture that Henry broke while he was staying there. Henry managed to find a job at a construction company, but it looks like a lot of his initial checks will be going into paying off his debts. As for Clara, she plans on working as soon as she recovers from having the baby. She has no choice, really, given her family situation. She's going to let her in-laws take care of the baby. Both of them ended up with really exhausting jobs, but I suppose that's karma for you. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe. Please open the door. Why won't you let me talk to you in person? Absolutely not. I don't want to talk to you. Just seeing your smarmy little face makes me fly into a rage. You better leave before I call the police. What? What did I do? Maybe if you paid more attention to things, you'd know what you did. Or rather, didn't do. Maybe you should just sit out in the cold and think about how you've mistreated this family. How have I mistreated anyone? Please just let me in so we can talk about this. Why should I let you in? All you do is cause trouble. I just don't get it. The four of us have been living together for a year now without any problems. What's different? What changed? How have you not noticed? Or are you really just that oblivious? How can I notice something if I don't know what you're talking about? Did you really not see how frustrated I've been? How frustrated Connor has been? He comes home every day to see the house dirtier than it was when he left. All you do is laze around all day with that job of yours. You just sit in that office and stare at that screen for 10 hours and get nothing done. Meanwhile, he works day in and day out and you do nothing. If you're going to be home all day, you should at least do something around the house. I've been trying my best to do housework when I can find the time during the day, but work just keeps getting busier and busier. I'm in meetings from 8 until 6, if not longer. Like I believe that. I've seen you in there. All you do is watch videos and talk at the screen. That's my job. I work in the marketing department. I have to approve video content for our ads. Pfft, that sounds so easy. You really call that work? There's no way your little work-from-home job can keep you that busy. You can't be working anywhere as much as my dear little Connor is. I really am that busy. I thought you might be at least a little sympathetic. Even if you never really did show it. Why would I be sympathetic? You don't even have to leave the house. While poor Connor sits in traffic for 2 hours every day just to get home to a pigsty. You have all this extra time where you don't have to commute that you could be using on housework. I try my best to keep up with what I can in the mornings and at night, but it's never enough. I even manage to cook most nights. But I'm even busier than I was before now that I'm working at home. At least in the office, I was able to take a break every once in a while. But now I'm booked solid every day. Maybe if Connor and I actually divided the work up a bit, it might get done more quickly. I didn't mean for it to get so out of hand, and I'm sorry if it's bothering you. It's not like I don't want the house to be cleaner. I'm trying my best, but it's hard to manage it all on my own. I'm not really sure why you're the one angry at me, though. I'm angry on my son's behalf. You really should put him first instead of your own selfish desires. Selfish? How am I selfish? Connor is working his fingers to the bone every day, and he comes home to a mess because his useless wife won't bother to lift a finger. If that's what you think, maybe you could contribute yourself and help pitch in on some of the housework? I know you have that bad knee of yours, but you could at least do a few things. Laundry, or maybe some of the cooking, for example. What are you even going on about? It's your job as the woman of the house to do these things. Stop complaining and do your job. I'm already doing everything I can. You really don't know your place, do you? My son is too nice to complain to you, but I'm not. Connor does everything for your family, and you do nothing at all. He doesn't have the time or energy to do what you should already be doing. I'm working too. It's only fair that the both of us split up the housework. And anyway, why are you getting involved? This is between the two of us. He's my son. I should be able to have a say in what happens to him. And why are you even complaining? This is what you signed up for when you married him. You shouldn't even be working in the first place. Your place is in the home doing housework. Shouldn't I be the one to decide that? Or at the very least, Connor and I. Connor doesn't understand. He's just a child. He doesn't know what it's really like to be a responsible adult. And clearly, neither do you. I need to show you both how you should be acting. Don't come back until you've had a long think about what you should do. Maybe after that, I'll let you in. I see what's going on here. You're trying to get us to divorce, aren't you? I thought I saw a strange envelope in the mail the other day, but Connor took it before I could look at it. It looked official, like it was from lawyers. I guess you found me out. Well, I'm not ashamed to admit it. Those were from my attorney. I had him draw them up just in case it came to this. Yeah, you definitely have no shame. And Connor has already signed them too. Under duress, I suspect. If you mean he did so at my request, he did. You pressured him. I'm sure of it. Well, what's done is done. The ink can't be erased now, but the option is there if you want to take it. If you ask me, I think you should. Maybe add that to your list of things to ponder. If we're getting divorced, it's not because you told me to. I can't force you to sign, but I'd be glad to leave you alone and let you do as you please if you two just end this farce now. If you're really not interested in doing housework, then there's no point in you staying together. I'll find Connor someone who actually cares enough to do it. Connor, honey, what's happening with your mom? She's telling me she drew up divorce papers for us, and she's not letting me in to talk to her.
What? She is?
Yeah, and she's trying to convince me to sign the divorce papers. She said you already did?
Oh, I mean, she asked me to sign something recently, but I didn't realize that they were divorce papers.
Really?
She said they were for my own protection. I guess I should have read them more closely.
Well, okay.
You aren't going to divorce me, are you?
I mean, no, but your mom wants me to. She told me to think about it. She's mad about me not doing the housework and said she didn't want you helping me with it, even though I'm working a ton myself.
I guess I did say some stuff to her offhandedly about the housework not getting done. But it wasn't supposed to be a dig against you or anything. I can't believe she'd say anything to you about it.
Well, that makes me feel a bit better, I guess. Would you be willing to talk to her? Maybe you'll be able to talk her down a bit? She's basically locked me out of the house, so I've had to take a bunch of meetings from a coffee shop with just my phone.
I'm so sorry, Tori. But if you were the one who made her mad, you might need to be the one who apologizes.
Really?
She really just doesn't listen to me anyway. And, well, maybe you should just tell her that you'll do the housework. And maybe that I shouldn't have to do any of it.
Wait, what? I thought you said we were going to do it together.
I mean, it's just... Maybe it's not such a bad idea. I've actually been thinking about this for a while. It would really be a big help if you could just do it. I've been so tired from work lately, and I don't know if I could manage cleaning or whatever on top of that. If you just got it done, it'd be a big weight off my shoulders.
This isn't what we agreed to. There's no way I can manage it either.
Why not? If you're working from home, wouldn't it be a lot easier for you to do it while you're there? You can do it whenever you want. If I was working from home, I'd be taking long lunches and having a nap in the middle of the day. I'm sure you can find the time. That way, we won't have to bother splitting up.
Come on, Connor. Be reasonable.
I'm trying to be. I've been thinking about this since Mom and Dad moved in. Now that it's 4 of us, there's a lot more to do. It might just be easier for you to quit and take care of the house instead. After all, that's what my mom did. She would bring him coffee and cook and clean and everything, and she never seemed to mind. It worked out really well for them.
Maybe it worked for them, but it doesn't mean it will for us. I'm not your mother. I shouldn't have to be like her either.
I'm not saying that. Just maybe we should try something different. My father always seemed happy when Mom was taking care of him. So maybe you could take care of all that stuff for me so I don't have to worry about it.
I can't believe this.
Maybe Mom is right. Take some time to think about it. Go down to the cafe and have some coffee and maybe you'll feel differently. And then you can apologize to Mom and we can put this all behind us. Have you had a chance to reconsider? Once you've had enough time, get home as soon as you can. If you don't start dinner soon, it won't be ready by the time Connor comes home. Maybe you could make some stew since it's getting chilly.
I don't think I will.
Excuse me. What did you just say to me?
I've been thinking like you asked, and I've come to a conclusion.
And what's that?
Why should I work and do all the housework myself? Why can't Connor pitch in and do at least a little bit of it?
You spent all that time thinking about what you did wrong and this is what you came up with? Maybe you need a little more time.
No, I'm done thinking. There's no reason why Connor can't help out around the house. Just about every couple I know has both of them help with the housework. I know it's not how you were with your husband, but it's the 21st century. I have a job and I need to do it, and it doesn't leave me with enough time to cook and clean and all that too.
I can't believe you, you petulant little whiner. The nerve of you to speak to me like this, and to abandon your husband and your in-laws in favor of some little useless job.
You're just angry because I'm standing up to you. And anyway, this is my decision to make. Now that you're living in my house, I'm the one who gets to decide these things, not you. We'll be doing it my way. And there are 4 of us living together now. Maybe we should all 4 chip in. I know there's only so much you can do with your bad knee, but you can still fold clothes or polish silverware or even maybe help with the cooking.
What are you talking about? I shouldn't have to manage your household for you.
Then if that won't work, I'll just hire a housekeeper. Between the 4 of us, it shouldn't be terribly expensive.
I can't believe you'd even consider that, you lazy good-for-nothing. Paying for a housekeeper? What a waste of money when you could just do it for free.
So my time and labor are worthless then?
Not worth enough, at least. But even then, you should be doing it for free, out of love for your husband. When you got married, you agreed to be part of a couple and that involves doing housework. It's just how the world works. You should be happy he even bothered to marry you.
This is so insulting. Why am I even putting up with this?
Why don't you just make it easy on all of us, Victoria? If you get divorced, this will all go away. I'll find Connor someone more suitable and you can do whatever feminist nonsense you feel like. Maybe you should go think on it a little more.
Why are you being so cruel about this? How can you just break up your own son's marriage so casually? I can't even begin to imagine what's going on inside your head.
I can see why Connor picked you. You're just as petulant as he was as a child. And you're as weak-willed as he is, too. You have this job at home where you have to do barely anything and you can't even bother to fulfill your obligations as a wife. While Connor has a proper job where he actually does something meaningful. Your home and your marriage should be your highest priority, and yet all you do is ignore them both. All of this talk about splitting the work. It's disrespectful. To me and my son. You should apologize and start pulling your weight.
Who are you to be telling me what I should do?
I'm your mother-in-law. At the very least, you should show me some respect. If you had any respect for me at all, you'd end this now and leave.
Well, if that's what you want, you've got it. I've already signed the divorce papers and submitted them for filing.
You did?
They should be processed by the court soon. It should all be wrapped up in no time at all.
Wait a second, Victoria.
Once everything is finalized, you should be receiving a copy soon. Actually, you know what? I really should be thanking you for the suggestion to get divorced. I think this is probably best for everyone.
What is this?
I'll be going to stay with my parents for a little while I sort out my finances. Someone will be by to collect my things tomorrow morning. I'd appreciate it if you leave them where they are for the time being.
Wait just a minute. Did you really sign the papers? Are you really divorcing my son?
I sure am. Everything should be formalized tomorrow.
What are you thinking? I can't believe you'd do this. Do you understand what you've just done?
Of course I do. This was all getting to be way too unmanageable, with all these demands and your guys' unreasonable expectations. No matter what I said or did, it didn't seem to change anything. So I thought I'd get while the getting's good. I was never going to be happy as a full-time homemaker. And there was no way I could work and do all the housework on my own either. And living with the three of you in that cramped house just didn't seem too appealing either. I thought it might be time for a change. I thought I might strike out on my own for once.
You horrid little brat. I should have known you couldn't handle this. I told him before you got married that it was a mistake, but he wouldn't listen. I tried to find him a girl that would be a good and dutiful wife, but he insisted on marrying you instead. And I was right all along. This is what he gets for marrying someone who wastes all their time with a piddly little job like yours.
My job isn't piddly. I make way more than Connor ever did.
What? How?
I am a marketing manager. I make $220,000 a year.
You do?
Did Connor never say anything? I changed jobs last year, and it was a big bump in pay. That's how I ended up working at home. The company I work for now is 100% remote. I actually rather liked going into the office, but I decided I wouldn't mind working from home.
You must be lying. Connor would have told me.
I guess he never did. Maybe he was embarrassed that I was making so much more?
But Connor works so much, and with that awful commute. Why would he put up with it if you're making so much money? It's such a waste.
I couldn't really tell you. Maybe you should ask him. I told him he could quit or even find something else, but he insisted on staying where he was. But now that we're divorced, it's probably a good thing he's got that work ethic. He'll need it if he wants to keep living the way we were.
What? Do you think he can't afford this house?
I'm not sure. Maybe he can figure it out. It might be tough, though, especially with an old lady like you clinging to him.
How dare you? Calling me an old lady? How rude!
Oh, I apologize. It must be my petulant streak again. Anyway, thanks for everything. It's been a blast, really. I hope it all works out for you.
Hey, Tori. Is it true? Did you really sign the divorce papers? Mom just called me in a panic. She's wrong, isn't she?
No, she's right. I signed them and submitted them to the court. Your signatures were already on there and you never did bother to get rid of them, so I figured your mind was already made up. It didn't seem like it was worth it to drag this on any longer.
Whoa, wait a second. Is this about me asking you to do the housework? That shouldn't be enough to get divorced. We can work it out.
It's not just that. And I'm not sure we can.
Come on, Tori. Don't be this way. We can figure something out. Isn't there a way we can stop this so we can come up with a better solution?
There may be, but I'm not sure. Anyway, at this point, what's done is done. The court is processing the request as we speak. It'll all be finalized by tomorrow. It's probably too late now. You can try stopping it, but I'm not sure you can at this point.
Please, Tori, be reasonable. Just come home so we can talk this out. I'll come home from work early. Please, just talk to me about this. My mom said some things she didn't really mean. I'm sure she'll apologize.
I don't think I'll bother. At this point, I don't really see a way you'll be able to convince me to get back together. In fact, I'm pretty happy with how this turned out. Now I can spend my money how I feel like. And I don't have to worry about juggling my job and all the housework you refuse to do. I just don't think we'll ever quite come to an agreement that will make me happy. So it's just better if I remove myself from the situation entirely.
There's got to be something I can do. I'll do more housework if you come back, I promise. Please, just come home.
I'm good. I'm heading to see my parents for a while before I go searching for a new apartment. I've already bought the ticket and I'm already at the airport. It would be a waste not to take the flight. Anyway, bye, Connor. Hope you and your parents can get along on your own.
How have you been, Tori?
Oh, good, thank you.
It's been a while, hasn't it?
It has.
Have you been well?
You know what? I have. All thanks to you. I didn't think much of it at the time of the divorce, but what you did for me was the best thing to ever happen. I found more time to dedicate to work and even got on a promotion.
Oh, well, that's good to hear.
Is there something I can help you with, Martha?
Oh, well, it's just that. I wanted to apologize for everything with the divorce. We really do regret driving you away like that. I didn't really mean to be so cold towards you. And I was hoping we might be able to have a little talk about what happened.
Oh, is that so?
It might be a good idea for us to talk things out a bit now that we've all had a chance to cool down and reconsider. Things have been a little tough for the three of us since everything transpired. We were thinking, maybe you could come back and live with us again? That won't be an issue, will it?
No, I think it will be an issue. It feels like a waste of time since I have no plans on getting back together with your son.
Why not? Don't you think we can find a compromise?
At this point, we're well past compromise.
Aren't you being a little selfish?
You're the selfish one here. You just want me to come back to do all the housework for you.
Well, then how about this? Why don't you hire my husband as your assistant?
What are you even talking about? Where is this coming from?
He's here all day and all he does is sit around and watch sports. He's content to just collect his social security check and do nothing, but he's driving me crazy. He needs something to do all day that isn't pestering me. Without you here, there's no one else to talk to. Can't you just pay him a little bit to do some easy stuff for you? Say, $60,000.
Why would I ever do that? I don't need an assistant, especially one with no experience. And for that, I can find someone with actual time in the industry.
All you did was complain about how busy you were. He could help you, I'm sure. After all, how hard could your job be if you can do it at home?
Hard enough. I really don't have the time to be talking to you. Bye.
Wait, don't go. If he won't cut it, what about me? I can clean your house. Since you're so busy with your work, I might be able to help you with all the chores so you don't have to worry. I don't need much, just $50,000 or so a year. I'll even do all the cooking. I'll make you lunch and dinner every day.
I can take care of myself, thanks.
Then why not just help us out a little? You make so much. Can't you spare at least a little? It shouldn't be a problem with your salary. You have such a big, important job. Can't you share the love a bit?
I'm surprised. Your opinion about working from home definitely seems to have changed in the past few months. It's almost as if the moment I divorced your son, something happened to change your mind.
Nothing happened. I just understand the situation better. But if you're not willing to go for $50,000, I could probably manage with $40,000. After all, I am quite an experienced house cleaner. I was a homemaker for over 20 years. I promise you'll get your money's worth.
Maybe. Why don't we start from, let's say $0 a year and work our way up from there? After all, you said it yourself. Housework should be free. So you should be fine without pay, right? Maybe if I'm feeling generous, I might give you a bonus.
Well,
You know, I could really use a housekeeper. And what a bargain you'd be! Things really do get to be a bit of a mess around here. All right, I accept your offer at $0.
Wait, you aren't serious, are you?
Why wouldn't I be?
You're just as disrespectful as ever. I should have known. Why do I even bother with you?
I'm just following your rules. And you bragged about being a housewife working for free for your husband. Why does it matter who you do it for?
Why would I work for someone else for free?
That's a good question. Now that I think about it, it doesn't really make much sense. Housework is quite a difficult job after all. It does seem pretty unfair to have to do all of it yourself for no compensation. And it's such a waste to spend all that time on something you don't get paid for when you could be out there making a living. Time is money, as they say.
Well, if I were making the kind of money you make, I guess I might see it differently. If I had realized before, maybe I would have felt differently.
Do you think so? It seems to me that you probably wouldn't have really felt all that differently. But money does change things, I suppose.
I guess it does.
Well, if that's all you care about, I'm not sure I have much other reason to talk to you. I'm not getting back with your son. And I'm not going to hire you. So, why bother? Bye! After that last conversation, I blocked Martha and Connor once and for all. Ever since then, I've been living free and easy, unbothered by money-hungry people like them. Newly single and ready to mingle, I've been using my money to travel. Since I'm completely remote, I was even able to arrange a kind of workcation and travel around the world. I'm happier than ever. living a life I never imagined for myself while I was still tied down to Connor and his family. I even met a new man while I was traveling, and I'm thinking about trying marriage out again. Thinking back, getting divorced was the best decision I ever made, and one that truly turned my life around for the better. I have no regrets, though the same can't be said for Connor and his parents. I heard through the grapevine that Connor's parents have been having a bit of a marital spat. With no one left to do the housework and Martha's knee pain only getting worse, a fight broke out between the two. Her husband insisted she, as the woman in the house, do the cooking and cleaning, in spite of her condition. The fight eventually made its way to Connor, who selfishly took his father's side. He insisted he was too busy and too tired to help, and that Martha should do it all in spite of her age and injury. At her limit, Martha threatened to leave the family just like I did if she were forced to do all the work herself without any help. But, as Connor and his father pointed out, unlike me, she didn't have a penny to her name, nor any job from which she could support herself. She tried her best to break away, leaving the house and staying at a motel all alone. But after only a few days on her own, she came back to her ungrateful husband and bratty son, and has been scrubbing floors and washing dishes on her own ever since. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, hit the like button and subscribe to see more.